Hi, I'm Jay Hart. I wanted to make a little video blog about an experience I had, roughly 16 years or so ago. It was a void near-death experience. So interesting that there are so many books out there about experiencing light or God or angels or, amazingly light-filled things like that. But my experience was completely different. So I was in the hospital and I had been given a medication that stopped my heart beating, not for very long. But the one thing I noticed is when my heart stopped beating and I lost consciousness, it was like I literally blinked out of this reality and was in another. It was pure, black, vast nothingness. But it couldn't have been a void really, because I was in it. So a void is devoid of everything. So I found myself in this very dark space. And you might think it was frightening, but actually it wasn't. It wasn't frightening at all. But I had some interesting thoughts when I was in the void. So first of all, I was very curious. I thought, what is this place? I was just in the hospital and now I'm somewhere else. I don't think I'm in my body even. It was pure darkness. So I tried to look and see if I had hands or if I had toes. I tried wiggling fingers and toes and there was nothing there. What I had done is I had gone to a place of pure, transparent consciousness. So I learned that in this experience, when we leave our physical bodies, our consciousness goes on. Now, I did have some typical aspects of the more commonly communicated NDE in that I did have a life review. The time that I spent in the void seemed like an eternity. I watched the most important sequence of events in my life up to the point where I had children. I didn't get to see that part. I saw everything else. So all the happiness I caused, all the pain I caused, all the things I did for myself that were good and the things I did for myself that were not so good. So I had an opportunity to feel that. During the time that I was in the void, there was a presence there with me. Now I couldn't see it, but I could feel it and I could hear it via some, I guess it's best described as a tone, but I could hear it there and I knew that if I needed help, it was there. So I finished up my life review and this presence that was there with me sent me a thought. And that thought was simply this: are you ready to go? And I carefully considered that thought, and at the time, I figured, okay, yeah, I'm ready. I did the best I could in my life. I'm ready to go. Now, mind you, I had no recollection at all at that moment of my consciousness that in my body back on Earth, there was a child that was soon to be born. I also didn't remember that I had two older children at the time. So the voice asked me, well, I call it a voice, but it was more of a feeling. It asked me again, are you sure you're ready to go? And I said, well, yes, I'm sure. I've kind of made a mess of things in my life. What else can I do? And then it showed me some more scenes of my life review. It showed me all the moments that I spent with my children, my older two. And it also showed me the baby who had not yet even been born. They showed me what she was going to look like at age 2. And in that moment, I felt so much love. I felt a sense of wanting to complete something I started so much. I wanted to come back for them. And in the span of a single heartbeat, I was back in my body. And I heard the voices of the hospital staff calling my name, trying to wake me up. Now, I did not know what had happened, and because I was pregnant, They swore everyone to secrecy. Don't tell her we called Code Blue. Don't talk about it. That might be too much stress for her to handle in her condition. I was 3 weeks away from giving birth. And that was pretty much my experience. What I walked away from it with is a great curiosity about life. I walked away with it having no fear of death at all. And I also walked away with it having this greater sensitivity to energy. I can hear energy and tones that I didn't hear before. Now those tones change, and we're not talking about typical tinnitus. I do not have that diagnosis. And this is something that's been with me ever since that. Also, that experience left me with a greater, much greater sense of intuition that when I pay attention is spot on almost every time. So the experience was a bit puzzling at first. It was not alarming in any way, shape, or form, but I learned that in the void, your experience there is dependent upon the love that you take into the void with you, the light that you have gathered to you in your life. The void is sometimes a scary place, as other folks have talked about in their NDE experiences. Mine was not frightening at all. I did learn that nothing of materiality here matters at all when you're in the void. When your clock ticks, its last moment of life in the physical, nothing in the material world matters but the beautiful memories that you've carried with you, and the connections that you made, and the love that you shared, and the things that you appreciated, and your own growth. So these are the things that are important. These are the things that matter most. So it was a beautiful experience for me, if even sometimes still a bit of a puzzling one. Why me? The reality is, during my experience, although it seemed like I spent an eternity in the void, and I was wondering, why am I here? What am I doing here? What's going to happen next? It was with a joyful curiosity. There was no physical, egotistical designs in anything about the experience. It was just an experience of pure consciousness. It was pretty amazing, and I'm infinitely grateful for having had the experience, and also very grateful that I was given the opportunity to choose, and then ultimately choose rightly. I'm grateful that I came back, and I'm grateful that I had my void near-death experience. It was truly a wonderful experience. So that was it. I just wanted to share this information in the event someone else has had an experience like this. There aren't a lot of videos out there that are positive on the void NDE, and so I wanted to contribute to that body of knowledge that there can be positive void near-death experiences. It's all about you. It's all about your consciousness. If you are in a good place with yourself, if you are in a loving space with yourself and well connected to others in the positive, if you have a good nature, if you tend towards the positive, these things all help should you ever enter the void. But I did learn one thing, that it's really love that either takes you on from that place or brings you back. So if you're ever given the choice, just choose love and you'll be in the right place. That's it, folks. I hope that this was at least mildly informational and helpful to any of you who have had a similar experience. I am going to get off to my day because it's beautifully gorgeous outside right now, and I really need some sun. So I hope you have an amazing day. Best of luck in all your endeavors. God bless.